Give us permission to inform the body. The place that you're going to have the funeral service, the date, the church, the cemetery. Then we do what we call a certificate of death, state of Louisiana. Questions about the deceased. Again, this will cover his name, address, and this is statement of goods and services, but we itemize your charges on a contract. One limousine is $450. Corporate clergy is $200. Utility van fee is $180. Do you want me to total this up for you? I'm a high-power manual calculator. Then you're going to pick out your casket plus your $1,260. You're down to $7,014. You're going to get 3 death certificates. And when you total those 4 together, $8,018. You pay check, cash, boom. If you pay insurance, then we add 10% of the bill. Very seldom it's half and half. Either it's all cash or all through insurance.
It takes about $10,000 to make a funeral today, with all the elements that are involved between the funeral ceremonies, the cemetery ceremonies, and so forth, the burial. And African-American funeral homes are family structures, are neighborhood orientated. We want our people to have the best. You know, we have Cadillacs, we have Lincolns, we have Mercedes, and people expect the best, but they have to, you have to be paid to provide those services. But it's usually like a 5 or 6 day delay before a funeral is made in the black community. Sometimes we have to extend that period before the funeral takes place, which allows them some time to communicate with family members over the country who can help them to send a few dollars here and there to make the funeral. And as long as we live, we certainly are going to die. So you have to plan for that, and that's what life insurance does. It allows you to say, well, I want to have a certain type of celebration or a certain type of tradition. Poor people can't avail themselves, say, well, okay, I need $10,000 for a burial. They can't just go to the bank and draw it down out of their savings. So the benefit of life insurance company, it allows you to accumulate those benefits over a course of time.
There is an antebellum history of black benevolent societies. Benevolent meaning that they do good works and take care of their members. They grow after the Civil War, when you have, 4 million newly freed people who are trying to create a sense of community. And part of that, part of building community, is to be able to provide for their needs within that community. We're one of the decreasing number of old line black insurance companies in Louisiana, for that matter. One of the things that many families could not afford, or perhaps had not planned for, was a final resting place. And so these societies, in many cases, would build in a place like New Orleans, where we are almost limited to above ground burial. They would build society tombs. Anybody from a domestic worker all the way up to a college president, in the black community, wants to be, as we say colloquially, put away well. And on Sundays, they will have second lines. The clubs and societies will turn out, in their best, beautiful outfits that they've selected for the year. And yeah, it's in honor of their founders and their members who've gone on, as well as to celebrate their current members and to celebrate life. The second line was the group of people who would gather in the funeral procession after the family, after the ministers. Customarily, you play dirges, or you play very sweet, somber hymns on the way to the burial place. Once the body is put in the ground, you strike up the band, and that's when we start the real celebratory aspect.
We have 2 deceased in our family, my mom and a sister. Okay, we lost 2. So 8 of us left, of the siblings, okay? And with life going on, you know, we lost her last year. We did a layout for her. You know, we did a 2-day service layout, you know, one you call viewing, then the next day be the service. And after that, sent on home, you know. It's a happy feeling because it's not painful anymore. So when they do pass a joyful thing, you know one thing, there's no more pain, there's no more worry, there's no more bills to be paid. But I know she had it all set, everything was laid out for her, you know. You know, it's just like what I could say about me and my family, my life insurance. I have it laid out when it happened, we know they prepare for it, you know. Well, I got my life insurance policy at maybe $50,000. I done picked my casket, I done picked what I wanna have on, and I did like say no crying, no this, enjoy yourself, you know. I don't want them to use all of that, you know. Lay me out the best way you can, and I like for you to have some of that money to go on with your life, because life must go on. And without no money, it's gonna be hard for you, you know. Once they got old enough, got married, hey, got kids, hey, it's time for y'all to get life insurance on your kids, you, your husband, you know. This something must be done, you know. This something have to be done.
Basically, New Orleans has a high intensity of violence. The city's infrastructure is definitely not equipped with maintaining or addressing a lot of the violent crimes that exist in this city. We try to make sure that families can at least satisfy the balances. We can give you some assistance toward it, but it's too many murders that happen in this city for us to pay everybody's entire bill. Families are really struggling. Many of them can't afford insurance, and those that have insurance, it's a challenge to get the benefit that's due to you with the insurance. And I've seen families we work with wait almost a year before they receive the disbursement from the insurance company because they had to wait until the investigation was over. And folks are not informed when they sign up for these insurances. And here in New Orleans, a lot of times it's policies that have been in the family for generations. Where our grandparents got this policy on us when we were children. The value of that policy is nothing but $5,000, but you paid for it for 20 years. You paid more than what the policy was actually worth. The organization really strives on empowering and educating our families. So when these things happen, to make sure it's not happening again. Make sure you're insuring your family members. Look at contestable clauses. Make sure you ask specific questions from your insurance agent, like if it's a contestable period, how long is it? Is it any age limitations? Any other limitations with this policy, perhaps, and why it wouldn't pay? You have to ask those questions because they're not preparing you for what you're signing up for.
This one here was $9,000 to have my brother actually have a funeral and a burial. $9,000 that I didn't have, that I had to go around begging people, making loans, doing GoFundMe pages to raise the money to make sure that he have a burial. And it took me at least 2.5 weeks to do that. When it came in after Katrina, you destroyed community. You destroyed the livelihood, the people that, your neighbors that you know, that you grew up with, family people, right? Because at that time, before Katrina, you know, you could have just went around the neighborhood, you know, it was a village. And part of the village is, you know, we look out for each other. 11 months later, then I had another death that happened in the family. My nephew passed away. I didn't have $10,000 to do a funeral again because I'm stuck back again. He had a little insurance policy that I knew of before he passed away. He was trying to figure out what happened to the money, right? Because he was paying the insurance policy and whatnot, and he goes to make a loan or something, or turn the policy in, get a payment on the policy, and found out that that insurance company had folded and sold it to a bigger insurance company, right? But he still was extracting money from his account. Was he covered or was he not? And come to find out he wasn't covered. After losing my brother and then my nephew, I said, okay, I had to step back and say, okay, you know, I don't want to have the burden to fall on nobody else to go through what I had to go through, having somebody to freeze it for a month, you know, having to go GoFundMe pages. So I took out some life insurance on myself. Today he's gonna come collect $75 and I got a $15,000 policy. Not much, but it covers and yeah. He's gonna be knocking and banging in a minute. Ding dong, he ain't the Avon man, he's the insurance man. So this is my insurance policy. My insurer, Dan, the insurance man, the day is the 15th. Every 15th of the month, Dan comes here and collect his money. So you can expect Dan to be knocking on the door in a few minutes. I won't be here because we got to get out of here. It's too expensive to die. And it's way too expensive to live. So what do?